Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's session where we will be discussing how you can plan and execute 2026 the best way. So, what I want to do is welcome you. Let me know in the comment. At least you can see me, you can hear me, and you're following through. Let me remind people also on our platform that now we are live, and the topic of today we'll be reviewing the two books that we have been reading through the month of December and January. That is the 12-week year and how to make your best year ever by Michael Hyatt. So let me bring you aboard. Let me know in the comments. You can see me, you can hear me. Good stuff. At least someone has said you can hear me. Awesome, awesome. Today with me, I have a special guest, one of the members of League of Young Professionals, and she also happened to have gone through the book, and she will be sharing her insight with us. Just by a show of hands, anyone who read the book, any of the book, Conquer the that is Make your best year ever by Michael Hyatt or the 12th week, let me know in the comment. But in the meantime, let me welcome Alice. How are you, Alice? How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm also very well. Great to have
Okay.
you this evening today.
Thank you for having me.
Good stuff. So the subject of today will be the two books, and I think we'll start with the 12-year week. I'll give you a chance to share with us what were your key insight, and then we can be able to proceed. That's okay.
All right, that's fantastic.
Good, good. So
So the
let me
12, sorry.
the 12-year week. So part
Yeah,
one
yeah.
will do the review of the books, and then the second part we will get to have some reflection questions that we can think about. So there's the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian and Michael. And from my own assessment, the key core message there was to stop thinking in 12 months, years, but start thinking in terms of 12-week cycle, which means these are shorter cycle, and hence we have more urgency and focus on results. So back to you, Alice. Maybe you can take a moment to introduce yourself and share with us from your end what were your key insights from the book.
So you are very right. The key takeaways of the book are the same. So instead of an year having 12 months, an year is just 12 weeks. And so
Mhm.
the five disciplines of the 12-week year is that it, as I said, it creates urgency. But number one, it brings vision, is planning, there is scorekeeping, there is time use, and there's accountability. I want to just touch very slightly on all of them. When we talk about number one, the vision, it says, why do you do what you do? And planning isn't a to do list, there is a concept I want to just explain to you, lag versus lead. So instead of saying, my plan is to make sales of 100,000 per day, the plan, so the thing should be, I want to talk to, like, or my team should talk to 50 leads per day. So that we can monitor. Yeah. So not look at the actions, not the results. So how many leads are
Mhm.
you speaking to in a day? Yeah, because leads you can control. The results you can't control. Yeah. Another one, very important one
Yeah.
in this book is score keeping. So, for example, if you are supposed to speak to 50 clients in a day, so they do speak to 50 clients. So, is it a marketing issue, or is it how we are responding, or is it, is it our prices? Is it, you know, vis-a-vis selling that 100,000 per day? So, what actions are we making? For example, we can be saying, speak to 50 clients, and then for every client we have reached out, let's do 3 follow-ups. So if our score is 80%, like we have, like each person has spoken to, like, let's say 50 clients in a day, and they have followed up 3 times per client, then a score that's more than 80% leads to success, and it's consistency. It's not like today we are speaking to 50, tomorrow we're speaking to 20, that won't work. Very important thing also, the next one is time use. Plan your week before. Sundays are for planning your week. Plan your week. What are you doing on Monday? What are you doing on Tuesday? All the way to Sunday. Another
Mhm.
very big thing I want to emphasize here is something we call weekly accountability meetings. And accountability is not with yourself, accountability is with your peer. Because what happens is with ourselves, we make excuses. Okay, my child was sick. Oh, okay, the economy. Oh, no. Meetings with your peer whereby you said, okay, this week, or I am going to, I want to do an audit of the business. Or
Mhm.
this week, I exercise 4 times in a week. Accountability is not shame. It's somebody else asking you, did you exercise 4 times in a week? And then the answer is just no. There is no shame. There is no uh, blame. So what happens is
Right.
if we know we're going to answer to somebody else,
Mhm.
if you're not answerable to yourself, you're more likely to not want to say no. Okay, maybe this week you'll say no, but you don't want to say no this week and next week also no, another week no, because you are answering to somebody. At least if this week you'll say no, next week you'll try to do better. So
Right.
accountability, yeah. So it's called a weekly execution meeting. So in this week, what you do is you identify what worked, what didn't work with someone, a peer. Ask God to give you a peer, someone that you can share. Like, this is what I want to do this week, and then that person. It's not a big meeting. It's 15 minutes and you're out. They'll just ask you, did you do it? Yes, no. That's it. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
builds momentum, especially as entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
When you don't have someone checking, have you done it? Yeah. So why does the 12
Oh,
week work? As you have said, it shortens the feedback loops. For example, if you're in business, you don't wait for end of the year to, okay, what didn't work. If you're having meetings with your employees every week, they'll be like, hey, this week, our marketing didn't work, or our TikTok is not working, or maybe with the other avenues, or So because the feedback is very quick, it's every week. What happens is now you're able to make a change. Instead of this waiting for like end of the month.
right.
That's why. So 1 week is equals to 1 month. That's what I want us to understand. 1 week is equals to 1 month. Um, Another key thing I really want us to understand in this book is a key takeaway for me was, don't stop looking at the outcome. Look at the execution. It doesn't matter if you want to make 10 million in a month. How is the execution? Track the execution. If we track the execution, even though we make uh, uh, okay, even though we don't meet our target, even though we just sell 20%, we'll know, okay, this has led to this. So let's not track
Mhm.
results, let's track execution. For example, 10 sales calls per week, 3 follow-ups per client. If you're on TikTok, you
Mhm.
can be saying, we're going to be doing lives, 5 lives in a day, 3 lives in a day. That one we can track.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this book is important to all of us for business because it gives us clear focus, faster growth. For personal
Mhm.
life, of our health goals, our spiritual disciplines, and financial stewardship. So that is what really stuck out for me in this book. And I think so those two key summaries, your 1 month is your 1 week. It's urgent. You have a one
Mhm.
week goal. And then it says don't have more than 3 goals. That's lack of focus. You can't have more than 3 goals in 1 week.
Mhm.
Be You'll do digital marketing this week and also traditional marketing, then you'll put billboards, and then you'll call the auditors, and then you'll hire new employees. No, you have one
Mhm.
you have 1 to 3 goals. That's the
Mhm.
maximum, and then you're going to execute those 3 goals. You're going to have an accountability partner for the weekly
Ah,
reports. Somebody who will ask you, Daniel, you said you'll do a
yeah.
live. Did you do a live?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you said you do 2 lives. Yeah?
Mhm.
Did you do 2 lives? And then you'll tell them, yes, I did. Fantastic. Maybe something happened, you weren't able to do that one live. It's fine. They won't shame you. Next week, though,
Yeah.
you'll feel, hey, I told Alice I'll do a live. Last week, I didn't do it. So it's human nature to want to, okay, I don't want to look like I'm slacking off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, I will do my live. So having not yourself, a person, and
Mhm.
don't track outcomes, don't track results, track execution.
I like that. I like that. Now, I remember
Yeah.
at some point we had these accountability groups in the League of Young Professionals, that is LYP. And I think that is
Yes.
the first time I got to this idea of accountability. I don't know from your experience, if you were part of any of the group, how did it work? Did it work for you? Then I can also share how the experience for me was.
Oh, for me it didn't work, unfortunately.
Okay. Mm.
Yes. Yeah, but my spouse ended up being my accountability partner. He's not soft. He's very harsh. Yeah. Like he said, you do. Have you
Ah,
done? Have you done? Yeah, and yeah. So that really helps for me.
interesting, interesting. For me, I think we were divided into different clusters. I was one of the leaders of one of the groups. It did work for about, I think, 2 years. And
Wow.
the idea was we used to meet every quarter, at least once in 3 months. And at the beginning of the year, we would come in the group, share first of all what we did for last year, what we had planned, what was our goals, where did it work, where it didn't work, and then we project these are the goals moving forward. Then we would keep each other accountable so that by the end of the quarter, when we meet, we would ask you the same way you're saying. You said you will do this. This was your goal. How far are you? Have you tried? Have you gotten? How far are you moving forward or behind? So it worked until I think after 2 years it did work. But at the same time, I also happen to be part of another now a smaller accountability group. We were three of us, and we used to meet every Saturday. Every Saturday. Actually, we started two, then we became three, and we became three. We used to meet every Saturday just to check on each other, and it made it. I remember by Friday, if there is something that you had said you will do, and
Yeah.
here Saturday is coming, and you don't have anything to say, you would do anything and everything possible at least to show that there was some progress. And that
Yeah.
thing of being weekly really, really worked well. And it's only that we moved. But if you know, there's Andrew Mutua who we had last
Mm.
time. Today he was not able to come in because of work. He moved to Kigali. So it was
Oh.
not possible for us to meet physically. And then we also have one of my friend Gladys Juma, also a bit busy with work and other projects. So we don't necessarily meet every Saturday, but at least even we make a call once in a while.
Ah.
So that really worked
Wow.
well. And I'm glad you brought it up. So the next thing I want to do, I had some key pointers that I got from the book. I want to go through them. Some of them you have already mentioned, but then we can also, maybe you can pause or highlight anything that I mentioned that maybe also stood out for you. So some of the key principles I saw from the book was one, vision. Long-term vision creates emotional drive. Yes, you can plan for 3 years, but then break it down to 12 weeks and then
Mm.
weekly actions. There
Yeah.
was the idea of planning. I think you said very important. Plan 12 weeks and have 3 to 5 crucial actions per week. What are you going to do? Not the goals, but actions.
Yes.
When
Yes.
it's simplified, it makes it very easy. Simplicity will beat complexity. And
Oh, yes.
also the idea of execution is greater than strategy. You know, sometimes
Mm.
we plan, we'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. But then if you don't get to execute, a poorly executed strategy is way better than a very well defined strategy that is never executed, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The other thing I also got was the idea of control, process control. Have a weekly scorecard that you will
Yes.
actually check to see if you got there or not.
Yes.
Track execution, not the outcome. Yeah, you might want to, for example, let's say you want to save money. You want to save 100, let's say 1,000 by the end of the week. Instead of just looking, did you actually save the 1,000? What is the execution? What will you do to earn? So
Yes.
I will sell this, I will market. Focus what you're executing rather than just looking at the outcome. And
Mm.
aim for at least 85% weekly execution. Sometimes we are able to do more than that, 100 and above, sometimes not, but at least weekly, if you say this is what I want to execute, 85%. You
Yes.
talked about measuring the lead indicators. There's a book, I don't know if I have it here. Yes, here we go. The 4D. I don't know if any of you have ever read this book here. It's called the 4D execution, the 4 discipline of execution, and he talks about lead measures and lag measures. Lead measures being what is in your control, and
Mm-hmm.
then lag measures is what comes in. It's the outcome. You can say, I want to lose 50 kgs. Oh, that might be a lot. Maybe I want to be 50. I want to lose 10 kgs. So that is the lag measure. At the end of it, you will stand on the scale and see, did you lose 10?
Yes.
That can only, we can only know at the end of the, let's say you give yourself 1 month or 2 months. We can only know it at the end of the 2 months.
Yes.
But what we can control day in, day out is, are you going to the gym? Are you eating well? So those
Yes.
are the lead indicators.
Yes.
Because by the time we know you have lost 8 or 9, the time period has already passed. So that idea
Perhaps.
of lead measures was a good one. Review weekly and adjust quickly if something is not working. There's the use of time. Use time strategically, have buffer
Yes.
time, break time, and protect your calendar like an asset. And I
Mm-hmm.
think there was a bit of accountability, which you mentioned. Accountability is not punishment, it's just ownership. Weekly accountability meetings, if you can do it, very good. And then have peer support accelerate. When you have peer support, it accelerates the results. So mainly those are the 6 principles I got. Anything that you'd want to add before we jump on to the next book?
What I also got was just like an year at the end of the 12 weeks celebrate. Do a mini celebration of your success. The same way when
Mhm,
right now, then I also plan for the next year, for the next
mhm.
12 weeks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Small wins. Celebrate the small wins.
Yes.
Don't wait until you have that big one. Yeah. Sometimes
Mm.
even that small celebration actually makes you much. It motivates you to continue doing better, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So that is much about the book, the 12-year week. If you have any question about the 12-year week, or if you had gone through the book and you want to add something, feel free to drop it in the comments. If you want to join us backstage, I have put in the link on our WhatsApp community. So that link, the second link, will make you join us now on backstage, not on YouTube. I know most of us are following it through YouTube. Abdulrazak, you're coming in, you're saying, I joined a bit late, but welcome. Hopefully, you're getting some value. There's a comment here. Sometimes, even with execution, things do not work. So, find that you have actually not achieved what you wanted. This is what happened to me in 2025. I hope to do better this year. What would you say, maybe, or comment based on this comment from Wealthy Wave? Right there.
I think the for wealth wave, if he's able to just get one or two accountability partners, you see, for
Mhm.
the time a whole year is over, maybe these people are giving you insights. You know, if every week you say this didn't work out, they can tell you, okay, maybe you can try this. And then, so if that happens constantly for 50 weeks, then 2026 is going to be different.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think the aim here from the book, it talks about focus on the execution. Did you execute? If you did as you had planned, give yourself a pat in the back.
Yes,
Sometimes we do not control the outcome, but we can only control the execution.
yes,
And then once you have done this, you have executed as you had planned, then you did not get the results. The next question will be, what did I do wrong? Probably my assumption was, if I do A, B will come up. Then we have realized A is not working. Then
yes.
review and adjust. Do
Mm.
not beat yourself for executing the wrong way, but
Yes,
learn
yes.
from the mistake. Yeah. And I think there's a part where we said, yeah, focus on the strategy, the execution, rather than the outcome. Sometimes the
Yes,
outcome is out, it's out of our control, but we can only control the execution.
that's true. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So I want to jump in and talk about the second book. Or is there anyone who was able to read the book, The 12th Year, Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt? The core idea from this book was that you can design your best year ever with clarity, belief, and consistent action. And the point that I like most from the book is sometimes the best year will not just come by default. It is not something that will fall onto your hand. It is something that you need to be intentional about. It's something that you execute, you design. Your best year is designed. It does not
Mm.
happen magically. Let's just watch this short video as a summary of the book. I'll then give some highlight points. And then if you have any questions, you have any comments, drop them in the chat. I'll be happy to read them. And then if you want to join us also backstage and share some of your comments, feel free to use the link.
You know the feeling, right? The clock hits midnight on New Year's Eve, and we are just filled with this incredible hope. We make these huge promises to ourselves, but what happens? A few weeks, maybe even just a few days later, it all kind of falls apart. Well, today we are diving into Michael Hyatt's book, Your Best Year Ever, to figure out why our best intentions so often fall flat, and more importantly, to uncover a framework that actually works. So let's just start with the question that I think we can all relate to. Why is it that our resolutions almost always seem to fail? I mean, it's such a common cycle, it's basically a running joke now. You see hashtags like #resolution fail trending just a few hours into the new year. We go out, we buy the gym membership, we download the budgeting app, and then, well, life happens. And look, this isn't just a feeling we all have. The numbers actually back it up. According to research that Hyatt cites in his book, fewer than 10% of people who set resolutions are actually successful. Think about that. That means for every 10 people you know who are vowing to make a big change, 9 of them are going to end up right back where they started. That is a staggering failure rate. And this quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't some kind of personal failing on your part. It's a shared human experience. We all start out super strong, full of determination, but then that momentum just fades. And you know, just knowing that we're not alone in this struggle is really the first step toward finding a much better way. It feels a lot like this. Picture a champion runner, Heather Kampf. She's in the middle of a 600-meter final, and she is just about to make her move for first place when out of nowhere, her heel gets clipped. She goes sprawling, face literally bouncing off the track. In that split second, for her and for everyone watching, the race looks completely over. That's exactly how it feels when our own goals get derailed. Like we've fallen so hard, there's just no point in even trying to get back up. So, here it is. This is the crucial takeaway from the entire book. What if the problem has never been a lack of willpower? What if it's not that you're lazy or undisciplined? Hyatt's core argument is that we fail because we're using a fundamentally broken system. The way we've been taught to set goals, it almost guarantees we're going to fall short. And that right there is the good news. Because while traditional resolutions are, a pretty faulty system, a better plan actually exists. See, it's not about just trying harder. It's about having a better strategy. And Hyatt has developed this program based on decades of research that can help us finally break that cycle for good. So this is the whole framework. It's a 5-step roadmap that takes you from just having a dream to actually making it a reality. Now, for our purposes today, we're going to zoom in on the 2 most critical foundational steps: believing the possibility and completing the past. I'm telling you, if you get these 2 right, you change the entire game. All right, step 1 is all about what's going on in our heads. It's our mindset. Before you can even think about achieving a goal, you have to truly, deeply believe it's possible. The starting line for any real change isn't January 1st, it's in your mind. What we believe is possible has a direct impact on the reality we create for ourselves. So the biggest obstacle we all face is what Hyatt calls a limiting belief. He tells this great story about his dog Nelson, who is trained with one of those invisible fences. Well, even long after they took the electronic collar off, Nelson would not cross that boundary line. The barrier had literally moved from the yard into his head. And we do the exact same thing. We internalize these invisible barriers based on our past failures. And this really breaks down the 2 core mindsets. Over on one side, you've got scarcity thinking, which basically sees life as a zero-sum game. Every challenge is a roadblock, the future is something to be afraid of. But on the other side, you've got abundance thinking, which sees life as just full of opportunity. Challenges are chances to grow, and the future is bright. As you look at this, where do your own thoughts tend to fall? And these limiting beliefs, they tend to show up in three main areas. We have beliefs about the world, like the market is terrible, that make us feel powerless. We have beliefs about other people, like, oh, they're too busy to help me, that stop us from asking for support. And then probably the most powerful ones are the beliefs we have about ourselves. I'm just a quitter. I'm not good enough. Those are the real killers. So how do we actually fix this? Well, Hyatt gives us a really clear 6-step process. Let's just walk through it. First, you recognize and record the belief. So let's say it's, I'm terrible with money. You actually write it down. Then you review it. How has that belief held you back? Well, maybe it's kept you from investing or from asking for a raise. Next, you reframe it. So instead of I'm terrible with money, maybe it's I just haven't learned the right financial skills yet. And finally, you revise it into a new liberating truth, like I am a capable learner who can master my finances. And then you start making choices based on that new truth. Okay, on to the second foundational step. Once we've upgraded our beliefs, we've got to deal with our past. So many of us, we just drag our past failures and our disappointments right into the future with us, and then they end up sabotaging our brand new efforts. To really move forward freely, we have to properly process and complete the past. We usually think of regret as this giant, immovable roadblock, right? It's that painful feeling that just stops you in your tracks, and it's always reminding you of all the ways you've messed up, which makes you afraid to even try again. But Hyatt asks us to look at it totally differently. What if that nagging feeling of regret isn't a roadblock at all? What if it's actually a road sign, pointing you directly toward your greatest opportunities for growth in the year ahead? And this isn't just a nice idea. This idea is actually backed by research. It's called the opportunity principle. What studies show is that we feel regret most strongly not about the things we can no longer change, but about things we still can. That lingering sting of regret, that's actually a signal from your brain that, hey, the opportunity for a do-over is still wide open. And this is how you can turn that regret into actual wisdom. Hyatt suggests using a tool from the US Army called an after-action review. It's a super simple 4-step process for analyzing what happened without any of the judgment. So for example, number 1, I wanted to save $500 last month. 2, I actually saved $50. 3, I learned that all those unplanned dinners out were the biggest reason I missed my goal. And 4, I will adjust by setting a specific budget just for eating out next month. See? It's a way to make sure every single experience, good or bad, moves you forward. So by upgrading our beliefs and then learning from our past, what we're really doing is clearing the runway. We're no longer being held back by those invisible fences or the weight of our old failures. We are now finally in a position to stop just reacting to life and start designing it. We can actually create our breakthrough year. I love this quote from Lewis Howes because it really captures the whole point. The life you really want isn't going to happen by accident. It is built intentionally, one meaningful goal at a time. It's the result of being crystal clear on what you want and then having the right system to get you there. So let's go back to that runner, Heather Kampf, the one who fell flat on her face mid-race. Here's the part of the story I didn't tell you before. She didn't stay down. She didn't quit. She jumped back to her feet and started running with everything she had, passing one runner, then another, until she crossed the finish line. In first place, she won. Her fall didn't define her race. Her response did. And that right there is the final crucial point for you and me. Past failures, setbacks, all those times you've fallen down, they do not have to be the end of your story. Armed with the right system, you absolutely have the power to get back up, get back in the race, and still make this your best year ever. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know that the failure was never you, it was just your system, what does your breakthrough year actually look like? What becomes possible for you when you really truly believe you can win?
Awesome, awesome. So that was much from the book, the summary, and I think I had some pointers here. I want to bring in Abdi Razak, who has joined us. Any comments? Were you able to read any of the book? Abdi Razak, can you hear me? I think you're muted. You can unmute. Okay, good. As he sought that out, I have seen Rhoda. You have been able to join us. Thank you very much to have you on board. I can also see Deborah. Nyaga also joining us. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment. Now, in the meantime, let me just go through the key principles. Then I'll give you some coaching questions that you need to think about. Then we can be able to call it a day. Number one, believe it is possible. If you don't believe it is possible, then it will not happen to you. And I think if you have been able to go through the 3-day UN job search challenge that we run, there's a bit when I tell you, if you believe that it can happen to you, type it in the comment and say, yes, I believe. Because if you can't believe, then it won't happen. It starts by you believing. First, you need to identify the limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Then replace them with the liberating truth, and then shape your mindset. Your mindset will shape the outcome. If you have a positive mindset, then it will work for you. Be sure about that. Another concept that comes from the book, I think the first time I read the book is when I got to understand it is important for you to review your past year. Most of us move to the next year without taking time to really think through what happened last time. Now somebody is calling me. I'm a bit busy. We can talk later. You need to review so that you can complete your year. Celebrate the wins. What really worked? Because I can assure you, you cannot have a 365 day and not have even a single thing working well for you. So celebrate the wins, extract the lessons, especially where things did not work, where you can say those are your lows, because you have your highs and your lows. When you have your lows, what can you learn from that lesson? I'll give you one of my lows last year. One of my lows is I was in a construction project, and one point of the construction we did the wiring, and after doing the wiring, we came on a Sunday to check the project, and the wires were stolen. As in, they broke in, they stole everything, they cut even the rest of the wire. That costed me a lot of money to put it up, and now it has all been stolen. It was quite a very low moment for me, especially this project that I was doing. Then later on this year, at the beginning of this year, when I was doing my review of the year, I asked myself, what is the lesson that I got from this specific situation? And when I narrow it down, I would say is I became a little bit compliant, or a bit as if I put up my guard down, because I saw so far nothing had been stolen. So the lesson I learned or I extracted: never put your guard down, always be on guard. And I think that will serve me well even in the future, even if not in the same project. And then if you have any disappointment, release them. Release the disappointment. Start from a fresh plate. You cannot start if you cannot believe that you'll be able to do it. Principle number 3, design your future. It's not going to come by default. Set 7 to 10 meaningful goals. And these goals have certain areas. In your finances, you can set a goal. You can, in your relationships, maybe with a spouse, with children, with co-workers and colleagues, you can decide to set a goal for your physical health. What is it that you want to do? You can set a goal for your emotional health. Your intellectual, how are you going to engage with meaningful ideas? Set goals also for your hobbies, having fun, and for your work or career. You can pick. In the book, they have those clear maybe areas or domains in your life. Then use smarter goal. I have shared about the SMART goal, but he goes ahead and brings in the idea of having smarter goals. And smarter, he adds E and R, which is exciting goals. So SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound goals. He adds the E, which is an exciting goal, something that excites you, and the other R, a risky goal, not something that you can easily get to, something a bit risky that will really stretch you a little bit. And then he talks about balance life domains, all these different domains. I wish I can, I don't know where there's a book where I did my goals for the year. I would have shown you the different domains or mentioned. But if you read the book, it will show you relationships, spirituality, money, physical health, vocation, having fun, and your work, career, and stuff. Find your why. Why are you doing this? Sometimes when you realize why you're doing some of these things, they really fuel you moving forward. And the emotional connection fuels discipline. Goals without meaning fades away. Yesterday, I happened to be in another session where it was about making the best, the coming year the best year. And he said, you need to set meaningful goals. And how do you know it is not meaningful, worthwhile goals? And this worthwhile goal would be, number one, a goal that is thrilling, that is the exciting bit, important, and the D was daunting. It's not just simple. And how do you test if it is important? You ask yourself, for the sake of what? Why are you doing it? Because goals without meaning, they will fade away very quickly. But when you attach meaning, why is it that you're doing it? It makes it even more powerful. Make it happen. Break that big goal into small, manageable steps. From these manageable steps, build habits that support them. And then use triggers, routines, and environment design. There's one thing I did starting last year. One of the practices that I learned that would be good is being mindful and actually taking a stop and breathing in, deeply breathing in, and doing what the other calls PQ reps. I did a training through Positive Intelligence, that is the PQ, and it says there are certain exercises that you can do that can take you 2 minutes or 3. And for me, the trigger that I use every time I go to the washroom, it is a trigger for me, number one, to stop thinking about so many things that are happening, to be mindful, to stop, take a pause, take a deep breath as I use the washroom, and I step out. So every time I get into a washroom, it is a trigger for me to be mindful, to take a pause, to stop allowing my brain to run up and down. You can use different triggers for yourself. I think one of my mentors, Brandon Bashard, who says his trigger is when he gets into a door. The moment he gets into a door, the door frame is a reminder that he needs to do a specific task. So you can decide for yourself what works for you. And the sixth principle, review and adjust. Weekly reviews. Sometimes waiting until the end of the year, it's too late for you to review if something is working or not. Have quarterly reset. And progress is more important than perfection. If you wait for perfection, you will never progress. But if you just take small steps, progress, then you will be able to move forward. Awesome. So let me pause here, ask any question, any comment, any of you who were able to read the book, The Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. Let me bring you back, Abdul Razak, on stage. You can unmute and share or say something if you wanted to say. If you want to join me backstage, I've posted the link on our WhatsApp community. And if you have any question or comment, let me know in the comments. So we have Deborah there saying, I will do it. I will do it with the help of God. Yes. Believing it and doing it by the help of God. Yes. If somebody saying believe, I believe, that is Beauty Tally. Yes, we were talking. And I hope this year is you believe and we will make it happen as you join us in this program. Yeah. And then we have, thanks for sharing. Awesome. Awesome. Any question, any comment in regards to the book? I can see we have 15 more minutes. The reason why today we are actually streaming live on YouTube was a way to help us get more time. I remember last time we were using Google Meet and it would restrict us for exactly 1 hour. After 1 hour, the meeting will shut down. And today I knew we are going to review 2 books. I didn't realize that also we might not have a lot of live comments, because the other time people would lift their hand and they would comment, or they would say their take. So right now you might not be able to talk live, but if you want to talk live, you must be in the WhatsApp Ascent community. There's a link I've put that you can join me backstage, but you can also drop in your comments if you have any question or any suggestion or something you'd want clarified. That's okay. Now, let me move then to some of the questions that I want you to think about. Based on these two books, coaching questions that I want you to think about. You might not be able to answer them here, but it's something for you to take away. What is one 12-week goal that would create the biggest impact in your life or your career? If you were to count 12 weeks from now, that is somewhere around end of March, beginning of April. What is one goal, if you achieved it, you would say the rest of the year is done, that will have the biggest impact in your life or in your career? Think about that, write it down. Then once you identify, this is the goal, it is getting a job. Let's use that as an example. What are 3 to 5 weekly actions that you would need to move the needle the most? And I normally say, one of the things about job search, one of the key actions you need to do is to apply for the job. So you can set and say, I want to be applying for at least 1 job per day, or 2 jobs in a week, or 3 jobs per week. Because that is the one way that will move you forward. Another action would be to network, go to networking, would be reaching out for informal, what is called informal information interviews. What typically distracts you, and how will you protect your time? So when you look about your last year, or you know yourself, what are some of the things that really distract you? You need to think about that. How will you measure your execution each week? I think that is very important. How will you be able to measure your execution every week? And then the other thing I want you to think about now, when we come to the best year ever, what limiting belief do you need to replace before 2026 begins? I think we have already begun, but before we go so far, what is the limiting belief you will need to replace? By the way, I would want you to type this. This one, I will ask you to type it. I'm going to give you enough time. I want you to really think about that. Maybe take about a minute or so and type in the comments. What is one limiting belief that you need to replace before we continue so far with this year? What is one lesson from 2025 that you will carry forward? Because it's important for you to review your previous year and then say, oh, moving forward, this is what I want to get. Which life domain needs the most attention next year? Is it your health? Is it your relationship? Is it your finances? Is it your career or business? Is it fun, having fun? Is it self-love? Is it taking care of yourself? Is it your mental health? What is the one domain that needs the most attention? I want you to think about that. What goal excites you emotionally, not just logically? What is that one thing that really excites you emotionally? And what habit, if built consistently, would transform your year? What habit, if you do it consistently, will actually transform your year? So those are the questions that I want you to think about when you think about this book, Your Best Year Ever, and then we can be sharing them in the course of the week. Let me pause here and ask any questions, any comments. And Chemu, I have learned a lot. Unless commitment is made, there are only promises and hopes, but no plans. Awesome, awesome. So my question to you guys is, what is one limiting belief that you want to replace come 2026? We have 10 minutes. I need to move a little bit faster. I think we started a bit late. So I want to give you some questions now when we integrate the two books that will be important for you also to think about. Number one would be, what is your number one goal for the first 12 weeks of 2026? What is your why behind that goal? What weekly action will you commit to? What will you track to stay accountable? What support or community do you need? So important. You need these questions. I'll post them in the WhatsApp community again for you to think about them, take time to reflect, and be able to plan a very good year coming ahead. First, I want to this point, maybe I'll pause and say congratulations to Phyllis Mageka. Mageka was the member of the month in December. She was able to log in at least 9 times, and she completed 50 units. So one login is 1 point, completing a unit is 2 points. She ended up with 109 points. So can I think there is a place here where I can do some celebration. Where is it? A round of applause to Phyllis McKenna. I am sorry I was not able to reach you in good time for you to share with us your poster so that you can share it around. Well done, well done. The good thing is that we have changed now we have updated the leaderboard, which shows you every 30 days, every month. So right now, if I log in, I can see in the month of January who is leading, how many times have they logged in, and how many points they have. So always, I'm looking forward to see who will be the member of the month come 26 January. Well done. So this will be your action. I would want you to choose one of your goals to sprint these first 12 weeks. Write it down, identify the weekly action, and set your scorecard. And it will be, I'll be very happy if you can be able to share that with the group. We have the WhatsApp Ascent Career Club. Share that with the group. We will keep you accountable. Next month, we are to do, which of these books would you want us to cover? I think covering 2 books is a lot, though we had a lot of time, December and start of January. We're already halfway through January, so 2 weeks. I want you to vote for the book. I'll post it in our community. Either you pick Brian Tracy, Speak to Win, How to Present with Power in Any Situation. Or would you want us to read The Psychology of Money? By the way, we can do a quick poll here, though I might not remember, but I'll post it in a group. Which one would you really want us to do come next this month, in the next 2 weeks? There are many lessons learned from failures. Thank you, Yevu Karisa. And that is very true. Which one would you want us to take this coming week? I will know. Drop that in the comments also. I'll be happy to read. We will be bringing in guest speakers every now and then to share with us some of the insights they have. So tomorrow at 7:30 p.m., just a time like today, we will have Wilston Ebony, who will be coming and sharing with us storytelling as a personal branding tool. And I would want to invite you. We will put the link on our WhatsApp community. It's for members. You will be joining us also on YouTube. We will be talking about storytelling as a personal branding tool. Come in and discover how you can use the power of storytelling to build an authentic and memorable personal brand. I think there's a lot that we can do from storytelling. I have also learned how I can use it for my own brand, personal brand, and also for business. Stories. We are people who like to hear stories. That is from our even traditional setup. There used to be storytelling time around the fire. So join me tomorrow, same time, 7:30, and the link will be in our WhatsApp community. I can see already Tech, hey, that's a tough name. Techie Crap Fun. I don't know how you pronounce it. You would want us to do the psychology of money. Awesome, awesome. Hopefully you're in the WhatsApp community, you can vote, and then we'll see which one. And that is it for me today. I want you to plan boldly, execute consistently, and 2026 starts now. It might have started in the terms of the calendar year, but you have learned and gotten a lot of insight from today. Yeah, right on time. So I'll pause there. I'll allow any question. If you have any question, let me know in the comments. Let me take some water. I can play some music. Let me hear your final comment and we can call it a day. So I don't seem to be seeing any questions or any comments. Allow me to say thank you very much for joining us today. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. The good thing is on our Ascent platform, if you log in straight on the dashboard, you'll be able to see all the upcoming events. Next week on Thursday, we will have another guest speaker coming in to talk to us about personal finance. And I think it will really blend very well with the book. What is it called? Psychology of Money. Psychology of Money. What's the link to the WhatsApp community? Drop me a message and then you want to join what Ascent Club. We'll talk more. Yeah. If you want to join Ascent Career Club, that is my personal number. Please don't call me at night. Just call me during the day and then we'll talk. But WhatsApp me anytime. Yeah. So for Peter, ask permission to join the WhatsApp Ascent community. I'll talk to you more. Is that okay? That's my number. I can see somebody saying we do the book Speak to Win. Okay, we'll see which one will pick the day, but I'll put the poll to go tomorrow. But until tomorrow when we get our guest speaker, boom, I'm out. Thank you.